the Northampton side then. And this is a world-class front row, what with Tom Smith of Scotland, England's hooker Steve Thompson, and this very important signing, the South African tight head Robbie Kempson. And the Springbok influence continues in all departments of the pack. Selborne Boom, along with Irishman Damian Brown, they form a new second row combo. And in the back row, Corne Krige, the ex-South African skipper, joins Andrew Blurs of New Zealand and Grant Seeley. That set of forwards looks as strong as anything in the Premiership. Behind the number 8, Johnny Howard, the young English scrum half. He replaces the injured Mark Robinson, who saw red in this fixture last season. Paul Grayson adds the experience at 10. In the centre, it's Mark Stabina. He's made a big impression since he arrived from Biarritz. Mark Tucker's influence growing as a result. On the wings, it's Ben Cohen and John Rudd. Of course, Rudd signed from London Wasps. And then last season's Player of the Year, Bruce Rehana at fullback. Howard for Robinson then, the only change from the starting lineup last weekend. Gloucester have travelled in numbers, and in their front row, this traditional strength of Gloucester rugby down the years, some new faces. Terry Sigley has made the leap from National League One and the Pertemps Bees. Today's at tight head, Gary Powell failing a fitness test. In the second row, it's Alex Brown, the ever-present, and Peter Buxton getting a run in that department. And in the back row, James Forrester passing his fitness test on an injured ankle. Jake Bohr and Andy Hazel are on the flanks. Andy Gummersall is at scrum half with Duncan McRae at fly half. The centres, Henry Paul and Terry Fanalua. No change on the wings either. James Simpson, Daniel and Marcel Garby. All of these familiar to Premiership watchers. And at full-back, a man who made his name last season, that's John Goodridge. Gloucester unchanged them behind the scrum from last week's win over London Irish, but forced into that late alteration up front. And here they come. News from Gloucester, by the way, that 12,000 tickets have already been sold for their home match against Newcastle next week. Their new stand is looking great. A record crowd expected then. And here today, Gloucester will come out to a ground packed with a passionate Northampton local support. And the fans are likely to have forgotten the events of last year when these two met here. There's always been an edge between two strongholds of rugby, perhaps even more so this time around.
Well, no doubt at all, Jake Bourne knows this is going to be quite a challenge. Last year it was tight in the end, but Northampton blew Gloucester away until Gloucester really rattled the Saints. There was a sending off, it was tough on Northampton, but Northampton, they'll have learned to listen. They will want to maintain their discipline. This will be edgy, this will be spiky, but there's a great deal of talent out wide today.
Hazel's late tackle on Shane Drove ignited that match. Now Northampton with a new look on the pitch and a fresh approach off it. A club which has reached the ultimate, the status of European champion. So whoever takes charge here will always have that to live up to. But a real sense that the good times could be on their way back under Coach Solomon's 10 tries in 2 matches and a quick and physical style which has caught the eye. Now the challenge to keep it going. Corne Krige is the new captain. An old-school adversary of Jake Bohr, the Gloucester skipper in their young days in the Cape. A little side dish, that one.
Yeah, and all the way back, Bruce Rehana had a very good start to the season. Saints back three so dangerous. Cohen looking much sharper after a decidedly lacklustre summer with England, but he is ready for action.
On the bench then for Northampton, it's the ex-academy scrum half, Ben Jones, getting the elevation after Robinson's injury. And Gloucester named New Zealander Nathan Major, but because of the one foreigner rule, he can only come on if Duncan McRae goes off. There is McRae. Referee is Steve Lander. He gets the whistle and has the cards. Let's hope that he's not required to use too many. In a match littered with star names and potential game turners, the Zurich Premiership in week 3 starting to take shape and looking to serve up another treat this afternoon. Gloucester will start this game in the shape of McRae. And Ben Cohen with the first catch. Simon was saying the pitch looks immaculate. There's Howard, back to Grayson, long way back just for that. to enable the fly half to have the time to get the ball away. Immensely experienced alongside the youthful Howard.
Yeah, but of course Gloucester will be delighted because they've got possession, hence the change in the direction of the kick-off. Now here's an interesting part of the game. Olivier Azam, such a dynamo around the park, but there's always been a question mark about his line-out throwing. Nothing about his ability. Will he hit Alex Brown today? It's a real battle, this line-out.
Back from Montferrand, Azam, to his real home, Gloucester. Says he's delighted to be back, and look how the Gloucester forwards have started. They're without Vickery until around about the European Cup kicks off, and of course Woodman's got to sail, so changes in the front row, and they're determined to show that they're just as strong as they always have been up front. But Northampton have been beefy in the forwards this season, but Gloucester have got a penalty here.
Three not listening, you're coming round, you heard him, you need to tell him.
Robbie Kempson, the South African international, the guilty party, offside, and well, Northampton will be disappointed there because after the initial Gloucester surge, the Saints were handling it with some ease. Kempson shakes his head. Well, no, in fact, in rugby union, international front row forwards never commit infringements. Referees make mistakes.
Kempson coming from Ulster with his coach, Alan Solomons, and here's Henry Paul. 16 points so far this season, the Premiership, lying fourth in the list. Andy Goode at the start of this weekend of Leicester, at the top of the pile of the sharp shooters. Gloucester's Player of the Year last season, picked by the supporters. It's a tricky one, first one. Although you wouldn't know it, Henry Paul with the first points of the afternoon, and reward for the Gloucester pack who got stuck into Northampton there.
Well, this is a lovely kick from Henry Paul, and maybe it's the start of a new season. Maybe it's my imagination. I just felt he took a little bit longer with his kick preparation than last year, and the result was spectacular. Fantastic kick.
I think you're right. More time taken by Paul with good result. Here's Forrester. He was extremely doubtful for this game. Had to pass a fitness test yesterday. Back it goes to Goodrich on his favoured left boot.
Well, his only left boot. And again, I wonder if Northampton will try and really put Goodrich under pressure. Went to school with this man, James Forrester, and he's not the most physical, but he's elusive, he's strong, and he's clever. But on the point of John Goodrich, very left-sided, and I wonder Paul Grayson, with all his experience, will try and put him into corners.
Ankle problem was the injury. Thompson throws, and big clatter of bodies there, and illegal work. There was some pushing and shoving from both sides. Peter Buxton finding himself in the second row.
Well, there's no doubt Gloucester penalised there, and they will attack at the line-out. They think Steve Thompson is a doubtful thrower, and they'll pressurise him. And interestingly, Northampton do not use Grayson's boot to go for goal. They look for territory. They've scored bonus points in both their games so far. They're very positive, and that's a positive decision early on.
And a good decision from the referee. Clearly the main offence was happening at the front, and that is Gloucester's ball. And Alex Brown hasn't missed a league match since the 30th of September 2000. Amazing record, a leading record, just overtaken Derek Reeves' old total. Gummersall. Here's Cohen. Tries to run it back. Space closed down pretty quickly though by Gloucester's good chase. Howard, Grayson, and Gummersall is trying to get there, but he's beaten by the force of that kick from Paul Grayson. Gummersall wants to take it quickly, but that's good following up from Thompson. Nice smile there from Thompson to Gummersall.
But Thompson will be worried. We talked about Gloucester attacking the line-out. Look at how Brown gets in front of the Northampton line-out there. That's very easy, and Steve Thompson, as an international, will be disappointed with that. Good targeting from the Gloucester line-out, though.
Sat and watched Gloucester practice that for an hour on Wednesday morning. They know that if they can get Brown across this Northampton line-out, which has been working so well with Boom and Brown, they've got every chance in this game. And to put the doubts into Thompson's head.
And that, of course, with the hooker, is really where the doubts hurt you most. It's not about technique, it's about confidence in yourself, the mental edge. And Thompson, on his day, is a world-class hooker. On a bad day, though, his throw-in deserts him, and that just becomes such a fundamental weakness in any team's game.
On his day, the day, he was a World Cup winner. But then, of course, this summer, not the tour that he wanted. Started versus New Zealand, then he was rested. Replacement versus Australia. Looking to get his England place back. That's snaffled by Seeley. And then Tom Smith, who's been away with Scotland this week training. Grayson, little short ball off to Cohen.
Gloucester, of course, had their own line-out problems. We talked about Azam, that was a first instance.
Forrester looking for support. Blowers has got through to make a very important challenge there. Forrester almost had a chance there to get the ball away, but Blowers saw that. Henry Paul gone long with this kick and well caught by Rehana. Not well kicked, though, off the outside of the boot. Man winning his club cap today. 50th appearance for the Northampton Saints.
And here's Gloucester losing their own line out. Overthrown there, and Grant Seeley plucks that one easily. But Gloucester, they've got a position again. That was an unusually slack piece of play from the fullback, Bruce Rehana.
Azam throws. Forrester, second time of asking, got the ball down. Gummersal's pass into midfield, picked up by Jake Bourne. He's through the first man. Hazel couldn't take it. Gone forward, referee holding out an arm will now blow.
Well, Paul Grayson didn't fancy Jake Bourne there, did he? Knocked on afterwards. But Gloucester really found a weak link there in the Northampton midfield. Such a strong carrier. Once again, it's not a convincing line-out. Forrester's athleticism, I think, saves the day more than any technical excellence.
I have to feel sorry for Forrester the way his injuries have come in the last couple of seasons, preventing him from getting any rhythm to his game. He's a great talent. Elbow problems and then that shoulder operation. Now this week an ankle issue, but thankfully that's cleared up and hopefully won't return or be aggravated in this match. He's a great player to watch. Here's his opposing number, Seeley. And Rehana thought about the kick but didn't take that one on, and he needs to be slippery here, and was. Just got away. Didn't have a second to play with there. This is Grayson. Fanalua throwing himself at Grayson to try and bring about the charge down. This is Goodridge on a counter-attack. Henry Paul, Simpson Daniels outside. Here comes Rehana. He's lost that ball in the tackle, though. The door is shut pretty quickly. Rudd was involved, so too the skipper Cricker. This is Gummersall. Forrester and Gloucester are trying to put width on it, aren't they? This is Garvey. Gummersall again. McRae finds Henry Paul. Two long passes there. That's Buxton, described by Nigel Melville as a one-man wrecking crew. Referee settles for the scrum.
Plenty of possession there for Gloucester, but really going sideways there. Bruce Rehana had an unusual start to the game, turned over there, and Gloucester, as good as their word, put in width on their ball, left to right and then right to left, but not really threatening Northampton there, were they? They do need middle park penetration.
You hit him from on top, crouch.
Steve Lander will be well aware of the history of this match, the recent history. Last autumn. Kicked off. Gummersall knocked the ball on.
Lots of pressure at the breakdown at the moment. And the results, quite a few errors. Andy Gummersall on the reverse angle there. Slightest knock on there.
Howard did very well when he came on for Robinson, injured at Quins last week, and now he kicks. And this is Goodrich. Strong play from the full-back. He's a big man, and he made himself look big there when he came forward. Inspiring for his team, but the penalty after holding on.
Well, that was tremendous rugby. It was a very good kick from Howard, and Goodrich's take is superb. Rudder's a presence there, but he shrugs him off, and then he heads in field. Doesn't want to go to touch, but then holds on to the ball. Gloucester just not getting the men there quickly enough.
Play on. Rest are involved in the restart. Let's go.
John Goodrich had a hernia op in the pre-season, nothing major. He's all ready to go again for another season, having enjoyed last year so much, breaking into this team. Although he's under pressure, another young player at Gloucester called Ollie Morgan. Fullback coming through. That's what Melville and Ryan will want, that kind of competition. There's another youngster, Howard. A lot of talk about the likes of Harry Ellis, Clive Stewart-Smith at Worcester, although he's not starting this season. It's Neil Cole. Here's a young lad with prospects too.
I think he's got a lot of ability, Johnny Howard, and with Matt Dawson having gone to Wasps, he's nearer the pecking order. Mark Robinson's out. He's got a chance here. Has a Bath a chance of getting their first win of the season, perhaps?
Yes, talking of Worcester, they're playing Bath today. 2 o'clock kick-off, that one. And Bath in front by 20 points to 12. First ever time they've been pointless, Bath, from their first 2 games in a league season. As Grayson goes off here, and he's replaced by Shane Drum, the man who was late tackled by Hazel in that game last season, which caused the spark and then the fire.
Well, of course, in that game as well, Shane Drum was playing a quite beautiful game of fly-half rugby, pulling the strings really well. Solid kicker of the ball, but he's really quick and a fine distributor.
Made the point at the start of the match. It is a world-class front row for Northampton. Thompson, Smith and Kempson.
Free kick. Let me referee the game. Numbers.
Thompson will be looking for world-class throwing here. And he takes the tap quickly at the free kick. Howard. This is Brown. Come from Connacht with a big reputation. Little chip from Drum. Forward comes Goodrich. Bang, out. Made sure with that one, didn't he?
Had to get that ball off the park. Shane Drum sees Gloucester coming up very quickly there and realises there's just a little bit of space behind. Might have wanted a metre less on that ball. Outside the 22, that would have given John Goodrich a real problem.
Thompson to Selborne Boone.
That was slicker.
Howard caught, and that's Azam. Very dangerous around that fringe. That's been a trait of Northampton's playing their first 2 matches, and Gloucester matching their opponents there. Wood dribbles through initially, and then Drum goes back. But the referee calls them back.
Well, Northampton were concerned that Gloucester were going to try and attack Johnny Howard. If he has one weakness in his game at the moment, sometimes he doesn't get the ball away from the dead ball area very quickly, and Olivier Azam crawled all over him there. Worked very well. Here you can see the Azam incident. Howard just looks up, the ball is out. 1 second delay, and Azam from behind the back feet. Nothing wrong with that. Good play.
Fascinating up front with these new players trying to make an impact for Gloucester. Terry Sigley, who was playing in the National League One with the Thames Bees last season, playing that semi-final of the Cup against Newcastle. But this a big step up into Premiership rugby. He's been doing well so far. Another tap, both sides playing at pace. It was Celia that time. Now it's Howard out to Brown. No change there. 3 of them.
Bit static, wasn't he there, Brown?
Got rocked in the challenge. And it comes back on the Gloucester side, and McRae, he's given that a lot, and it bounces on into dangerous territory. Duncan McRae, fine kick.
A lovely spinning play from McRae. Stabina loses the ball in the contact, and McRae knows, because Northampton are on the offence, that means their back three are looking for a sniff. He knows there's space, and the kick is excellent. Really good play. And now Gloucester have a chance to put pressure on Thompson again. This is a good position for them.
Big Australian influence on the field now. McRae, Dram, the two fly half, Stabina for Northampton. This is Thompson throwing in to one of the South Africans, Selvin Boone. And Thompson again. And Northampton just content here to try an inch away from that line. Every little gained is worth it. Howard puts up the high kick. Goodridge, good catch. Fanalua. Simpson-Daniel tries to get in the right position. Fanalua is going himself. Now it's Simpson-Daniel. Beaten one, and just about two. Blowers hauls him down. Gummersaw. McRae's going for the drop goal. Rehana. Oh, it's broken awkwardly. McRae's gone after it himself, scoops it back and just couldn't find a Gloucester hand, but John Rudder's got it now for Northampton, and it's breaking up. Good charging away from his own line by Rhino Rudd. This is Smith, along the line it goes. Good hands from the second row. Well, the idea was right. Brown just trying to ship it along to Stabina and Cohen. Howard comes round again. Exciting rugby, came off Garvey. Referee gives a penalty. Well, that was good.
Been pretty claustrophobic the first 15 minutes. It was a terrible drop goal attempt from Duncan McRae, but it did open the game up and it got the crowd going. It was a good place from Fanaloa, and Simpson-Daniel just beats a couple of tackles and just sets up the position. The drop goal attempt from Duncan McRae was a horror, but they almost made something of the charge down.
Well, Dram hasn't found the touch, and Goodridge has kicked it long and needs a good bounce. Not too good a bounce in that direction, though. Well, it had to break the other way for Goodridge. It didn't. A little bit like Nick Beale, now retired, of course, for Northampton. Goodridge has one of these giant boots, and it can go wrong.
And the net result, of course, is even better for Northampton, because they'd probably take scrum ball over line out most times. There is far less chance of Gloucester nicking this ball, and with Seeley, Blowers, Creaker, they're able to turn the scrum their way. They might just be able to work some space here. Neither backline really has a great opportunity thus far. This is one of the better positions.
Well, that's Andy Hazel's boot. John Goodridge hit the ball so hard it could have happened to his. Howard, penalty. Unhappy with the Gloucester front row for standing up in the scrum. It's Nick Wood, England under-21 player, looking surprised by the decision, but Steve Lander said, third time, patience gone.
Well, of course, Nick Wood, not the most experienced player, fairly young, emerging talent, and he's up against Robbie Kempson, all that South African experience. And you did feel when Sigley, of course, who's mainly a loose himself, switched to the tight, Division 1 and not Premiership experience, this is an area the Saints would target.
To be fair to Sigley, has played on both sides, and actually in pre-season was the tight with Wood on the loose, but
that's a world
the point
away.
You make is about the difference between League One and Premiership. It's massive.
It's massive. Rotherham found that out last year. Worcester are finding it hard. Front row, all-round game. It is a big step up.
Super kick from Shane Dram. Off the bench very early in the match. Just shows how prepared you have to be if you're a benchman. Taking over from the injured Grayson and doing what Grayson does so well, although Dram himself, 243 points last season, doesn't do it too badly week in, week out when given the chance.
Flirted with the left flank, didn't it? But it was a lovely strike. And that's a good kick from McRae. Gloucester on the offence.
Azam sets it back for Gummersall to Henry Paul and McRae as they swap positions. Then it's Brown. It's Alex Brown of Gloucester. McRae. Duncan McRae, such an important player for the Gloucester side. Big friends with Mark Stabina. Not for the next 60 minutes or so, though.
There's James Forrester showing his athleticism there to nick the ball. Damien Brown, a bit bigger, not quite as light, couldn't get up there, but Selborne Boom, he can. He's your banker ball, it seems, for the Saints today.
20 caps for the Springboks. Boom, former Stormer. Same side as his skipper. Two more big friends, Boom and Cricker. Well, Howard will be disappointed with that. The pack had done a lot of hard work.
Very solid work from the Saints pack. They're impressing me now. They're starting to find their rhythm. That's a couple of line-outs where they've been in the danger zone and they've gone to Boom and they've driven well. Thompson and co will just be a bit disappointed with Howard. Gloucester, now they have a chance to attack. We haven't really seen Gloucester causing too many problems thus far.
Northampton top of the table in the first 2 weeks of the season. First 2 week period they've done that for. This is Fanalua out to Garvey. Garvey cutting back inside and beating those men. Cornet Cricker makes a tackle, but they're inside the 22 are Gloucester, and they're looking hungry here. And here comes Sigley, who's carried that ball beautifully as Am has taken it on to score. One for the front row.
Wow, one for the coaching team. They wanted to go wide. Garvey, first of all, got Gloucester behind the opposition, and Sigley's line is superb. Decoys everywhere. Azam, he's coming from deep. Two of the Gloucester front row were not impatient. They didn't panic. They waited to come late. There were decoy runners. That's a well-executed try from the Gloucester front row. They played it like centres, didn't they?
We talked about the step up for Sigley, but he also arrived with a reputation as not just a scrummager, but a very effective player in the loose, and we saw it there. Beautiful running from Sigley. And Azam going with him to score the try. Now Henry Paul getting the conversion, and Gloucester have a 7-point lead, and what a try.
And what a decoy run here. Chris Lander says that's very close to being a block, but it's not. Watch this. Steve Lander there holds his men. Steve Lander watches Alex Brown hold the men, and it's fantastic work from Sigley and then Azam. Great work there from Brown and two front row forwards.
Drum restarts. Oh, they let it drop. Very dangerous. Hand comes in from Northampton. And Gloucester lucky to get away with that restart.
It's only a scrum.
I get the put in, the home supporters don't like it, but that groan reflecting the disappointment that Northampton couldn't take the chance offered by Gloucester's messy defence. Goodrich.
As the old maxim, Miles, wasn't it? After scoring a try, Gloucester went to sleep immediately. And Goodrich able at the moment just to work onto his left foot. Northampton won't be pleased with the way it's gone so far. Early stage in this match, but that was Gloucester's first really good attacking position, and they worked it beautifully. That's a fine try.
Thompson goes over the top, and it falls for Gummersall, then McRae. McRae looks full of confidence, doesn't he? Fanalua, he used his strength, just signed a new deal. Azam with the chip.
No, no, no. Score tries, but don't kick, Olivier.
Rehana, Cohen, chance for a counter. Stabina has got men outside. One of them is Drum. He rejects that. Carries over halfway with a strong run. Thompson. Look at Thompson handing off McRae there. Ball in one arm. Big handoff with the other. Whistle goes quickly for the knock-on. It's ferocious defence from Gloucester. They're getting around the pitch very quickly, aren't they?
Yeah, almost opened up though by Mark Stabina. That was a lovely break from the Australian centre. Very physical presence when he played for New South Wales. He went to Biarritz, where you've got to be able to play pianos as well as move them in the centre position. And look at this, 2 hands, so Gloucester don't know where he's going. He turns Forrester, he's using space to make it for his men. Forrester's hand stopped Thompson getting the good ball, but that was lovely play from the centre, wasn't it? Ben Cohen just got a little bit flat, though, on the next phase, and he just stuttered in midfield.
Has reached the heights of Australia A, not a full cap, but a very good signing. Alan Solomon's happy to have Mark Stabina. Nigel Melville and Dean Ryan and Dave Ellis alongside there, the defence coach, of course, who's done a lot of work with France and continues to do that at international level. Good kick from Gummersall, the man in possession of the England scrum half jersey, Andy Gummersall at the moment. And he'll smile after that kick. Made a big contact.
Yeah, it's a good kick from Gummersall, and that's an ideal kick when you've just taken a 10-3 lead. Force Northampton to play from deep. Gamble on the likes of Brown. Forrester on the short line out, nicking a ball, but they don't. It's clean again.
To Boom. This is not the way it's been going for Northampton in their first 2 matches. Classic breakaways from turnover ball against Bath and then demolishing Harlequins last weekend, and they could have scored more than the 6 that they did. This is Dram, composed.
But won't upset Gloucester, will it? Because they're not allowing Northampton to really play with a lot of ball from dangerous territory. They're forcing them to play from quite deep. Tactically, they're going very well at the moment. Just starting to take a bit of territorial control, I'd say, at the moment, Gloucester.
Zam just slinging that one in, and Corner Cricker says thank you. Selvan Boom. Dumped by Wood. Got right under the second row, didn't he? This is Dram. And where's that one going?
Magnificent kick.
The supporters on that far side had a great view of that as it came towards them in that spanking new stand.
Only going one place. Low elevation on the kick, so you're going to get plenty of distance. Lovely control there. It's a very flat kick. Goodridge has no time to get there, beats him into touch, and with Azam just having overshot one throw, that's not a bad idea. Put the ball in touch in Gloucester's own 22. Test the hooker.
And in very quick succession there, 2 good kicks from Dram. First defensively when he stayed calm with the whole of Gloucester running at him, and then on the attack and turning the game maybe, we shall see. Azam, he needs to show the composure that Dram did moments ago with the boot, and does, as he finds Jake Ball. Scored one of the 3 tries against London Irish for Gloucester last week. All 3 tries scored by the forwards. Went down very well with the shed. And that works out very well for Gloucester as they get the penalty at the line out. And McRae. Duncan McRae. Hinting that he really wants to see out his career now at Gloucester. He's fallen in love with the place.
Yeah, McRae, he'll be pretty happy, if not in love, but pretty happy with the first half hour or so of this game. Northampton just can't establish territory. They can't get in that 22 and they can't stay there.
Forrester 2 hands there at the line out. Couldn't release it immediately. Just checked. And in the end, a fatal delay.
Knock on, Gloucester, thank you.
Called by the touch judge on the far side. Eagle eyes. Steve Lander responding and giving Northampton the putty. Important spell coming up here. Just about to go to that sort of 10-minute before half-time period. Northampton looking to add to the 3 points. They've gone crossfield looking for Cohen, and Garvey will have to be alive here. Ball back inside to Rayhana and Fanalua. And then Garvey tackles a young lad with the television microphone on the touchline.
Clever. Cohen has gone wide and he knows that he can't do anything, but Rayhana's looking for the attacking angle. Good take from Cohen, and then Rayhana, he knows if he can get through Fanaloa, is in business, but he can't. Terry Fanaloa makes a fine tackle.
There is Terry Fanaloa. course, Nathan Major at the club. Pressure on Fanalua for that place as Gloucester try and sort out the passport situation for Major to make him a non-New Zealander. Here's Jake Bohr.
It's a global world when it comes to rugby union in the Premiership.
McRae. Cohen just took the pace out of that. Now he looks to use his power, and he's lost it. Little Simpson Daniel got the pat on the head, but he put the pressure on to take the ball away from his England squad colleague.
Well, Cohen did very well, first of all. It was quite a subtle hand to slow it down, but then, just as if he can't work out what to do, he had a split second to go infield to his back three, let them clear it or counter. He hesitated, and then he was lost. And Simpson Daniel, point to prove himself about his defence, was very keen to get in on Cohen and embarrass the England winger.
Gummersall, McRae, Fanalua. Missing out Goodrich, the fullback, given to Garvey. That's his favourite step, coming off that right foot and inside to the supporting men. Gummersall, McRae again. He likes a step too, but Damien Brown was there and waiting. Gummersall to Fanalua. Well, if in doubt, just prod it towards that corner again. And try and get Alex Brown across the opposition line-out.
Terry Fanalua, they're having a solid game today. Probably missing his mate Robert Todd, who's doing fine things up at Sale now. And again, will it be the Thompson-Boom axis yet again? Selborne-Boom has done so well.
Alex Brown tried to get in. It's loose ball, and Cornet Cricker won't have long, and he's put down for a 5-metre scrum.
Okay, stand up, please, stand up.
Well, they're calling try, James Forrester.
Well, he looks a bit embarrassed, Creaker. He was certainly sacked behind his own goal line.
First reaction from the referee, that's not a try.
It's a bad line out, isn't it? Boom under pressure. Creaker has to get out of his in-goal area. Gloucester swarm all over him. Now, Forrester's in. Does he lose control of this ball? I can't see how that's not a 5-metre try. Is that a 5-metre scrum? Very difficult from that angle.
Nigel Yates is the man deciding, and on the big screen at the ground, he will tell us all what his opinion is. Might be a try now, though.
That call he always felt was more in hope than expectation, but nevertheless, Gloucester have a fine position now. Can their young, inexperienced front row take on this gnarled old Northampton unit? They need a solid scrum.
Gummersall waits. Out it goes to McRae. Fanalua just couldn't wriggle out of that double challenge. Garvey's waited this side, but Gummersall goes left. McRae from in front of the post. Drop goal. Take the 3 points. Get out of there with something on the board, and the Gloucester fans are liking this.
Well, that was purposeful pragmatism there from Gloucester, wasn't it? Big error from Northampton. They put the pressure on with Fanalua's kick to get them there. And then McRae says, let's not go for the $1 million try. I'll just take 3 more points. And they're good points, because that's a 10-point gap now. Puts the pressure on the Saints now.
Northampton simply haven't been allowed to play the game that they want to, and have been doing so in their opening matches.
They haven't helped themselves though either. They just haven't been at the races, have they, in the sort of contact situation, lots of knock-ons.
Don't think either coaching setups will be particularly pleased with the restarts either.
No, very sloppy. Very sloppy. Now Northampton need to pressure Goodrich here.
Gummersall, penalty.
You can't stand
offside.
there either side of the ball with your feet and then tap his hand.
Johnny Howard given that instruction from the referee.
It's the bonus of a left foot there. Not much of an angle, but Goodridge has made it a 40-50 metre gain here. Howard, clearly offside, playing the ball. Again, just another little error, just allows Gloucester to get out so much easier that Gloucester are letting Northampton out of their 22.
That was a young player all wound up, trying to make an impression and realising he has to be at the best of his game against Gummersall. Weather's being kind to us. It was a miserable morning, but the sun's out, the pitch is good. And Gloucester, the away side, against the league leaders at the start of the weekend before Sale's victory last night against Saracens.
Trundling the way towards some self-belief now at this stage of the match, aren't they?
Absolutely. Hazel's joined in, realising that this rolling maul is gathering moss, although groundsman Powell won't like me saying that. Henry Paul just taking his eye off the situation, looking in front at the Northampton midfield, who are pouring through, and they've got themselves a penalty. And Howard's taken it quickly, and that's not a bad decision because there's plenty of Northampton players on that side. Tucker gets a touch, and they're storming on. Cohen. Can they get quick ball here? That was the point when they needed to bring play to the left. Howard goes again. It was his decision to go with a quick tap penalty, and Stabina's inside that 22, and once again Northampton looking for quick release at the breakdown. Referee holding out an arm as Gloucester slow it down illegally. And Northampton want a card to be produced.
11.
Oh.
It did seem to be a professional foul.
Ben Cohen should know better than in the shadow of the post to start putting pressure on referees. You remember the turnaround in New Zealand when England were under the post and he complained. He's done it again. Got to say, that was really good play from Johnny Howard, wasn't it? Decisive decision to go first, and a lovely little step-in break and a beautifully timed pass to make what should be, what, a 50-metre kick into a 20-metre kick for Shane Drum.
And this is not a sport to badmouth the referee.
No, I mean,
Come on until they ask you for it.
referees make mistakes, but you know, we want to control, and we want refereeing opened up, and we want them criticised properly, but not by players putting pressure on them. Here's Johnny Howard's break. It really is very sharp, first of all, and the timing of the passing is good. A couple of phases on from here, he made another decisive break that set up the penalty.
So Drum successful with his previous attempt. And successful with his second, so Northampton get it back to a 7-point margin. Difference between the sides, Azam's try and that Henry Paul conversion. Simple kick for someone of Drum's ability, but still have to get them. 3 points.
First time Northampton have really been able to apply any pace to this game. And it came from Howard, looking to take a risk, and some high-quality midfield passing. That's the tempo the Saints need, and we haven't seen much in this half.
Cohen. Chasing from Buxton and Forrester there. Rehana back to Drum, and Andy Hazel just not tall enough. McRae knew exactly where the touchline was. So did Howard. Called for a good mark. Nimble footwork from the young scrum half. He won't take on the kick. He gives that to Drum. Instead of Hazel, that time had to beat Forrester. And there's a difference there, isn't there? But Drum doing well.
Slightly disappointed Duncan McRae kick there. I think when you get the ball in opposition half and you've got a back three like Garvey, Simpson, Daniel and Goodridge with time and space, you've got to give them a chance to play. And that kick really was never going anywhere, was it? There was plentiful defence from Northampton.
Azam, Forrester, ball, not convincing. Somehow they've kept hold of it. And that's half-time. Is it? Well, the referee says so, so who are we to argue? Gloucester leading by 13 points to 6. And Shane Drum, the man who replaced Paul Grayson, keeping his side in the match, but the try coming from Gloucester. And for most of that first half, Gloucester in charge and playing the game that they wanted.
Yes, it hasn't been the greatest 40 minutes, but Olivier Azam's try was reward for Gloucester's territorial and tactical control in the game. Those 3 points at the end for Northampton open this game up, though.
It was a beautiful try too, created by two of the front row. Sigley running through, Azam with the finish. He's back in Gloucester colours, and he was delighted with that score. Half-time, Gloucester in front by 13 points to 6, and an intriguing second half to come.
It's gone at Franklin's Gardens, and Gloucester lead the way by 13 points to 6. Saints the pre-game favourites, but they trail at home and they come back into it. Let's find out as we rejoin Stuart and Miles.
Thanks, Simon. Trail at home, Northampton. Doesn't happen very often, does it? Thankfully won here in the Heineken Cup, of course, in February. An Irish have won twice here in recent times, but the other 15 Premiership matches aside the Irish games, they've been won back-to-back by Northampton, going back to December 2002, when, in fact, Gloucester won on this ground. And Gloucester's record, as they come out for the second half, at Franklin's Gardens over the years, is a good one. Won 7, lost 7. Not many have that record.
You know, I was just thinking about that game against Llanelli and the London Irish defeat. Both the Scarlets and Irish played a very controlled game where it was about territory and frustrating the Saints, and they did it very well. Nothing flash, but tactically they've got the edge. And Corner Creeker will be wanting, I think, key men like Rehana to go longer. He'll be asking Drum to give them territory and then build the game we saw fleetingly at the end of the first half.
But as well as Gloucester played in that first half and how they determined the nature of the game, they're not away yet, are they? Half-time, 7 points in front. Northampton would have been saying that, but we didn't play well, we didn't impose ourselves. But we can come out in this second half and really make a new start and make a difference to how this game is going. Drum.
Great height on that kick.
Lost by Azam, and the disease at restart saw, in that case, kickoff continues. Both sides have been sloppy when the ball has been presented to them.
You've got to give Drum credit. Big hang time there. But Olivier Azam really doesn't expect to be the man underneath it. The systems aren't in place there either side. That's a big error from Azam. Big error.
It's given Northampton a great chance here at the start of this second half, and Howard goes, tackled by Gummersall, the two scrum halves. There's Kempson. Haven't seen too much of Kempson in the loose, haven't seen much of Northampton in the loose, but we might hear as Brown goes. Howard to Seeley. That was just about setting up the position again from Seeley. This is Drum.
Henry Paul's gone down there. And he's up.
Comes back to Gloucester. Missed the boat there, didn't they?
Yeah, both half-backs, Johnny Howard and Shane Drum, trying to really find a space that wasn't there at the moment. Just signs of a little bit of frustration at the moment.
Well, Howard decided to take on Gummersall, and he's shaking his head, perhaps about this moment.
Yeah, backs have got a good line up there set up. You can see angles all over the place. And really, Gloucester defend very well in that situation with Forrester, Hazel and Ball. You're going to have to do something pretty special to make a break there. And that wasn't quite the destructive enough scrum to really give you that meter you need. He hasn't got that yet.
Howard alongside Drum today. Well, not at the start, because of course Paul Grayson went off as Andrew Blowers receives a bit of treatment here. Grayson going off, we're told, suffering bruising to the wrist area, but nothing too serious, which is good news. It's also good news, I suppose, for Drum, who got a chance to get out there early in the game. Not that he would wish ill on his teammate, but he wouldn't be human unless he wanted to play.
Free kick, no messing
Free kick against the Northampton front row. Another one for the Gloucester players. From 1 to 3. And it relieves the pressure straight away, doesn't it? Those little mistakes from Northampton.
Littered the first half, and when in doubt, Fanaloa, McRae and co have just said, right, we'll just send the ball down the line and we'll make 30 metres. Nothing flash, but it's just sound play from Terry Fanaloa. He'd liked it to have stayed in, but it didn't, but it's good territory again.
Thompson throws. Brown nearly in, but nearly not quite enough. So often the stealer. Drum is buried, so Howard looks for Stabina. Tucker and Rayhana on that far side. Tucker could release him. Advantage played here. Gummersall. Cohen. Gloucester not using that advantage. McRae and Goodrich.
Once again, it's the left foot of John Goodrich. Very solid, but really the Northampton chasing game isn't functioning. The kicks aren't of the highest quality. They're just looking for length at the moment. And Goodrich, because he's got such a good solid contact, takes it pretty close to the halfway line again.
Scored 10 tries before today this season, Northampton. In the Premiership, they had a good pre-season too. Beating the Dragons and Edinburgh and running in lots of scores. Haven't managed to cross the line in this game as yet, and now Gloucester will throw into this line out.
Yeah, good pressure from Gloucester in the line out there. Excellent defence.
The full time coming in from the game between Worcester and Bath, and Worcester have got themselves another bonus point, but not quite enough to win the match. Bath off the mark for this season, side that went to the final last season. Narrow victory. That's encouraging for Worcester. That's 2 bonus points now, one against Saracens away and one at home to Bath. Encouragement here for Northampton as they go forward. Howard, Drum. Free playing advantage. Howard, Stabina, ricochets off McRae, and now the penalty.
Rayhana's moving very quickly to the spot. Oh dear, Azam has taken him out off the ball there.
Well, that's a card. That has to be a card. I'm not sure the referee saw it. He was running away. The touch judge on that far side has seen it. It was silly, cynical, but above all silly.
Went over and knocked him over. The penalty is going to be where it was anyway, because I'm just bringing him over today. You want a word with number 2?
Okay.
It's certainly, in my opinion,
Just a word. That,
just a
yeah,
word.
he's not going to take that quick one. Yeah. Captain, please. Captain in 2.
Well, it sounds like just a word.
Okay. Let's just relax on this one, guys. Okay. What you've done is very silly. Very silly. You've tripped a man up over there off the ball, okay? The ball wasn't in play, so we're going to go with the same penalty, but you need to be very, very careful, because if you continue to do that, you'll go off. Understand?
Well, that's lax, and I'm not up for a touch judge deciding if it's going to be a quick tap or not. Look, he body checks him. Rayhana is moving over there. Northampton should have the option of going quick or not. And then you got the touch judge saying, well, he's not going to. I'm sorry, touch judge, that's not your decision. That's up to Northampton, because they've got the penalty.
The point is, we'll never know. You're right. Officials just can't surmise a situation on the field like that. But what they can do is say, that is what a yellow card is for, that kind of cynical play. Northampton will never know. Rayhana looked like a man who wanted to take a quick one to me.
Alas, it's not what the yellow card seems to be for anymore. It's a cop-out when there's violent play and they're not quite certain whether it's red or not. Still, that's another matter. Big kick for Shane Drum.
At least they can get the consolation of 3 points. Which we knew all along because of the reaction of the supporters behind the posts. They saw that one leave the boot of Shane Drum and head all the way through to cut Gloucester's lead to 4 points.
So another fine kick from Drum. Saints have lost nothing in terms of goal kicking with Grayson off for Drum on. Good kick.
Chance for Hazel to get down. No, he's lost it. Andy Hazel very close there, discarded his headgear. And who's been in the England squad, the full England squad, was demoted, if you like, to the Churchill Cup squad in the summer that's just gone. Howard, nice pass. Deliberate delivery from Howard, but Dram has picked out Goodridge. And here's Simpson Daniel. He's got Fanalua breaking to his left. Simpson Daniel, bit of magic maybe from him. Good tackle from Stabina, needed to make it. Gummersall, Henry Paul, Duncan McRae, Azam took that one away from Garvey, and then Garvey losing his footing. The ball's there and McRae's going to have to help, and does. Kempson was on the wrong side. Once again, Alex Brown was the big decoy running through the middle, and it's width with Forrester. And the ball spurts out.
James Forrester won't be very pleased with that. Foster once again trying to put width on it. Simpson Daniel. A staccato move he has. Goodridge in support, but it ended with Forrester, I'm afraid, when he needed to take the tackle and set the phase up for another one. Try to force the pass away, and it wasn't on.
What was all that jeering on the far side? Garvey just rolling on and not releasing.
Well, yeah, I think there was a sort of a bit of joy that he tripped up,
but then he seemed to hold on to the ball, didn't he? After a tackle had been made.
Interesting handling errors there. We said Northampton have made quite a few. I think there's been a couple in close quarter that have maybe escaped us. There's been 3 in open play, and they really just haven't played enough in open play to get that tackle count up. Sorry, the penalty count up, I should say.
Nigel Melville, his words on the walkie-talkie to pitch side. Good charge down. Well, the referee decides a penalty. Jake Ball leaving the scrum too early. Players have to stay bound until the ball is out, and Steve Lander deciding that it was just a rather gimmicky form of binding from Jake Ball. Fingertip stuff.
And that's where you see if Northampton had a left footer instead of the 10 metres or so Shane Dram has gained. Goodridge could have pumped that one about 20-30 metres further down, and still Northampton are looking for territory. That's a key in this game now, I think, Mars, the territorial battle.
Northampton have it. More by luck than judgment, I think, but they won't be dwelling on that. They've got a bit of go forward. Drum. Gloucester trying to make their tackles, but Northampton hitting the ruck hard. And looking to ruck that ball out the back. Now that was more like it from the Northampton pack. Something got them going. The crowd don't like the decision. It's gone Gloucester's way, and they will put in.
Crowd don't like the decision. The crowd should be delighted. I mean, Gloucester held the ball up, and Duncan McRae's away with it. Now, does Gomersall go off his feet? No, he stays on his feet. He's the first man there. Andy Gomersall, I think, has done a fantastic job there, you know. And McRae was away. The Gloucester fans shouldn't have liked it.
Paul, outside his 22. And that's directly into touch, so it's all the way back. Henry Paul makes an error there.
It's not what Gloucester need at the moment. Northampton try to exert some pressure. You can see Northampton, one of their problems has been they've conceded quite a few turnovers. Gloucester, they've been conservative, they've been cautious, but they've been pretty disciplined, and that's been the key note of their performance, I think.
Gloucester thinking about changes. I can see Boulding and Forty stripping down in front of us here, but it's Blowers who takes it on. The whistle's gone though. Some of the players haven't heard it. Some of the crowd haven't heard it. Knock on, says Steve Lander. Well, not straight, in fact.
Now all the way back. Steve Thompson, World Cup winning hooker, whose thrower judged not straight there. It's a tight call there. I thought first of all it was for a knock-on. He said not straight. If it wasn't a knock-on, that's a big call, isn't it? Here we go. Now, is this straight?
It's not bad. Came off Hazel's back. I thought initially it came off Howard, and that was the reason for the decision, a knock-on, but it was off Hazel's back, and Blowers was played in, onside.
But Steve Lander sees this straight away. He's pretty confident in the call. I don't think there's a big problem there.
Crouch and hold, engage.
And there's the penalty to further incense the crowd.
Second scrum, you're going across. That's why it came round it, you're going across.
Gloucester, by the way, have made those changes. 40 for Azam. That's at Hawker. And Boulding for Hazel in the back row. But you knew that, so why did I say it?
Second scrum in a row.
Good recruit from Leicester, Adam Boulding. Very good player. Now what they've gone for is a bit more bulk, a bit more solidity. 40's a good line-out thrower. And there you see it, lovely ball at the start. And Gloucester look for territory and a wonderful kick.
Once again, Duncan McRae has played for the corner, played for territory. It's worked so far. It's a slender lead now, and Gloucester haven't added to their half-time score of 13.
But see what's happened. Gloucester have brought on a technician who's not quite as dynamic in the shape of 40 over Azam, and they brought a back row forward who's a better line-out present and a grafter in Boulding over Hazel. They're trying to get the ball and control territory.
And Northampton get this decision. Temperature is definitely rising in the stands and on the pitch. There's some ferocious rucking from Northampton a couple of minutes ago. Gloucester will not take a step back. Bit of history between the two, and some recent history too.
We're not going on that step, keep it square. Crouch and hold, engage.
I'll sort that one out, Steve Lander.
Not even subtle, you're going straight across, keep it straight, thank you.
The disbelief of the front row penalised yet again.
There's one for Ollie Redmond to put his thinking cap on over. Thompson. Gloucester have got in there. Gummersall, Paul, McRae, Simpson, Daniel. It was tricky. The ball wouldn't get to him, and it died on him, but it didn't matter in the end because Gloucester have got a penalty at that line-out, which they won really well. I think it was Forrester who got in to win that line-out.
Well, Steve Thompson is being pressurised now. He is looking like a weakness at the moment, and Northampton under pressure. This is the result of it. It did die a bit, that little bit of a pass, but Simpson Daniel has a skill level that will disappoint him somewhat, but I think Northampton have got the cover. The key really is what's happening in this line-out situation, because this game is one that is now being dictated in territory and at the dead ball area. And there you can see, you know, 1-7, lost 6 on their own line-out. That's terrible statistic for Northampton. Gloucester's isn't the best, but they've acted by bringing 40 on to improve that area. And now this is a big kick.
Henry Paul has missed. The flags stay down. That was a chance to cancel out Drom's effort in the second half, which remains the only score in this period.
Terrible kick from Henry Paul.
Matt Lord and Darren Fox are coming on for Northampton, two fresh forwards for them. Lord, who did so well last season, he's lost his place at the start of this season with Boom and Brown having arrived. And Fox for blowers in that back row. Big call to call off blowers, but I think Fox is a terrific player, great young prospect. He's 23.
Looking for pace now. Gloucester are looking for size and control. Northampton are looking for pace in the back row.
McRae thought about a catch, would have been too risky. Ball flew past his nose in the end. Ray Hunter pulls out of the quick one.
Well, I must say, Duncan McRae's kicking has been very good today. He's done a lot of it, but that's been part of the game plan, and he's worked it very well. He's dropped his goal. Calm performance at the moment as he moves into the centre.
Thompson's long throw, that was good to Boom. Howard. Simpson Daniel under pressure here. Good catch, and Cricket was coming through. He shrugged him off, and he beat Tucker too, and he's flying. Simpson Daniel. Fanalua bolding the replacement, the space inside. Gummersall, McRae, Henry Paul. Plenty of cherry and white shirts there. This is Alex Brown, one of them. Gummersall tries to dig that ball out quickly. McRae, Fanalua. Do they have the space? Boulding's on that far side. Well, no, they don't have the ball because Forrest has lost it, but they do have a penalty.
There's a priceless piece of skill from James Simpson. Daniel just saw him drop a ball, takes this one under pressure, then he shows strength, agility, speed and vision. Former England manager Clive Woodward might not have rated him, but there's an awful lot of people in the West Country who do. Corner Creaker, beaten there. And there you can see Tucker left for dead. It's not been a game full of magical moments, but he just showed this guy, he does have it. And like I say, if you want to play batter in rugby all the time, then maybe he's not your man. But if you want finesse, he can supply that. Now, can Henry Paul atone for that last kick and make something of that break?
All the pre-match talk was about Northampton's start with the bonus points, the tries they've been running in. Gloucester, let's not forget, unbeaten themselves, starting with 2 victories, didn't play particularly well against Leeds or Irish, but they got the wins. And if they win this 3 in a row and to win away at Northampton, they're getting themselves in a great position. And Simpson Daniel showing his counter-attacking skills here to enable his side to be in this position on the field now.
Now this really is a big kick at the moment because Gloucester are defending well and they'd love to be defending a 7-point lead.
Paul again, just missed one. Just missed another. Now for a kicker of Henry Paul's standard, they're bad misses. Could make a difference in the end.
Well, it's letting Northampton off the hook here in the first half. Gloucester, when they got the territory, they just nudged that scoreboard. They stopped doing that. They've stopped doing that. Those are 2 very poor kicks from Henry Paul. They're not misses, they're bad misses.
Good chasing from Cohen. Got hands on it, also knocked it on though. But it's advantage now of Fanalua. Steve Lander deciding Gloucester have a chance to use this ball, so advantage comes to an end, and McRae kicks well, drilling that kick.
Pretty ruthless stuff from Duncan McRae at the moment. He's not forcing the game, he's on the blind side. Let's play the territory.
Thompson just checks the call. A lot of noise around the ground. Good throw to Lord, the new man. crabbing in field. Northampton won't mind that, but they need to keep the ball. Driven on by their captain. And Shane Drum finds the touch. Now, remember that last scrum? To us, it looked like a bowl of cannelloni. Nigel Redman will sort it all out.
Yeah, Miles, when you look at it, I mean, the decisions have gone tit for tat. When you look at the scrum, the decision was given against Sigley on the far side. On this side is Kempson and Wood. Wood is in red, has got the long bind. Kempson's got the short. Kempson takes it down. It goes against Gloucester.
And having known Nigel for most of my life, that sounds like he disagrees with the decision of the official there. Say it, Ollie, say it, man.
40 throws and it comes back to Kempson. Northampton fans want their team to strike here. Final quarter of the match. Time to start to play. Tucker. God, they mean it, don't they? Look at these tackles flying in now and players arriving to win the ball on the floor, putting their bodies where it hurts. This is Gummersall. Great kick. Tremendous skill from Gummersall.
Well played, Adam Bold in there, the number 19. Very quick onto the floor there. Does ever so well as the Saints try and attack. Excellent tackling, and just watch this now. You think the ball's got to come back. Pretty tight here.
Thompson to Boone. A recent good run of throwing from Thompson. He's got right back into his rhythm. Good news for his side, but they're still inside their own half. And Drum is trying to get them out of there, but Goodridge knocks it backwards. Clearly no knock on. Well, don't play that, Jake Boy, who's getting out of the way. Would have been offside. This is Drum. Ray Harner. And still, Ray Harner is through! Over halfway! Needs to look inside! Cricker was there! Has Ray Harner ignited his team? Thompson, short to Fox! Penalty! And just in one moment there, the match might have started to turn. Ray Harner found the accelerator at last. And Steve Lander has found the yellow card.
Graham, you're exactly what he's doing there. You deliberately killed that. Good.
Forrester goes, Gloucester down to 14 men, and Northampton in front of the post.
Simpson-Daniels' break led to nothing because of Henry Paul's missed kick, and a piece of genius from Bruce Ray Harner now has not only given Drum the chance to take 3 points, it's given Northampton for the next 10 minutes an extra man. Dazzling break from the Kiwi. You knew at this stage they had to start attacking, and Ray Harner is so dangerous. Creaker in support there. It's an easy 3 points.
Wasn't really a tackle from Fanalua either, he just dived in head and shoulder.
Yes.
Drum kicks. And possibly a different match. Certainly a cracking finish, Stuart.
No less than Ray Harner deserved there. Gloucester missed the tackles, but he's a big, strong man. And Creaker in excellent support mode there. It was going to be quick ball. Forrester decided he would risk the penalty. He conceded 3 points and 10 minutes out of this game. The XY Cato man sets this ground alight at last.
Fox was pretty big last season. He's beefed up this season, Fox. Stabina. Now Northampton want to run it in that counter-attacking style that has served them so well this season. Cohen. Howard. Drum. Boulding. The Drum off the floor. Howard again. Boulding goes in. legally, said the referee. Drum caught.
Well, Alex
Brown is trying to rip the ball off him.
There it is.
Howard, Thompson, Tom Smith. Howard again. Gloucester knew the storm would start at some point. Northampton have left it late. This is Cohen, but not too late. Plenty of time to turn this around. What a finish in store here. They're starting to really open up, aren't they? Crowd are loving it. The hands are good. Referee holds out an arm as well. Howard, Drum. Penalty's coming if they want it. Thompson. They'll want it now.
Shane Drum has a very big boot. This is within his range, and I cannot see Northampton looking to go into the corner. They will try and kick this.
I didn't see any knock on. Listen to what I'm going to say. That is very, very
Now
dangerous
there's a
stuff.
knock on from Howard, and of course this was right at the start of the move. They get this kick.
That's slightly mystifying, isn't it? Because Steve Lander was 1.5 meters away. I mean, key for a referee is to be in the right position. Steve Lander's in A1 position. I just... Did he blink or something?
I think he was just checking boldly whether he was offside, and that little glance away, and he lost eye contact with the ball, but you know, it was well placed.
But where's the near side touch judge in communication to say there's a knock on there? Touch judge, if he took his eye off it to watch for an offside, should have said there's a knock on. Big kick.
From Steve Lander's point of view, it's one of those things, isn't it? You have to play to the whistle. Sometimes these things will be seen. Sometimes they're missed. Well, it's missed. It was like one of those agonising putts in the golf. Looked wide, came back in, then just missed the hole out wide to the left.
Well, it was always a shot to nothing, wasn't it? A long range, he's got the distance, not a bad effort, but that one didn't trouble the scorers.
Rudd might trouble Simpson-Daniel. Well, he won't, will he? Look at Simpson-Daniel. That is John Rudd who is dealt with there.
Is that Simpson-Daniel, who doesn't have the physical presence to play international rugby? That is powerful stuff from the Gloucester left wing. He just smashed Rudd backwards. Just look at the leg strength. That's the key. It's not upper body, it's the power of the thighs. He's working those legs so hard, and he's just put Rudd in a pile there.
Gummersall, McRae, Henry Paul, Rehana. Up goes the noise. Through goes Rehana. What a run! Cricker just couldn't get it out to Cohen, but Seeley supported well, and Tucker's got it now. Couple of knock-ons. Northampton get the foot in, but Bruce Rehana, after an uncharacteristic poor start to this match, has come good as the match has gone on.
Well, McRae's kicked well, Henry Paul kicked badly, and he just steps Terry Fanaloa into the ground there. Great pace. It's from the back that Northampton inspiration is coming, and it is the shape of Bruce Rehana.
Seeley through the first tackle. Good work from the number 8. Here's Fox. Nothing subtle about this now. They're really going for it, but obstruction as Boone went through. Oh, look at Gloucester. They want to go with pace. Henry Paul, they won 10 metres. A gain of 10 then for Gloucester.
Crowd are booing, but Henry Paul was smart there. It was a good decision. He knew that Northampton had to pull him down because they didn't have men back. He gets 10 metres and he gets a couple of seconds on the clock.
Superb counter-punch, wasn't it, from Paul?
Yeah, very clever. Very smart indeed. And he knows he's got Johnny Goodridge with this solid left foot of his.
Final 10 minutes. The time on the sin bin is running out for Forrester.
Well, and you can see Gloucester's tackle count here decisive. They've missed 9 to Northampton's 8, but they've made 51. And you can see Northampton only making 21 tells you how much Gloucester have kicked.
Vanna Lewis trying to wreck his way through the middle.
Tells you a lot about the tactics of Northampton. It's been a real kicking game from Gloucester.
Wasn't going to be a kicking game then from Chris Forty, the hooker, though, even though he shaped a kick. And McRae resumes to the kind of service he was providing earlier in the match, with those calm kicks through to keep Northampton inside their own half. But now they're starting to break out of their half, inspired by Ray Harner.
Well, they're breaking out of their half, though, when the kick is in field or Ray Harner's able to take a quick tap. They want that ball in touch and some way in touch. That's the game plan for Gloucester.
Lovely take by Seeley. Howard. Drum. Simpson-Daniel to Goodridge. Drum again. Ray Harner again. Cohen gets the responsibility this time. Goes for the kick. McRae won't have long because Cohen's there already. Good response, but Northampton will throw into this line out.
Good kick from Ben Cohen. He's gained 30 metres or so. Once again, John Goodridge doesn't want to miss touch. It's no good making 60 if Northampton can counter. Big moments here.
Forrester's coming back in 49 seconds. Holding told to get back on his feet. Referee wants to play on, and quite rightly. Drum, Cohen, Ray Harner, Simpson-Daniel, another good tackle from him. But he's off his position now, as Tom Smith, realising that, made a break for the right wing. Drum. It's there for Howard. Drum again, Fox. Stabina got there quickly. It's very bunched up here for Northampton. So it's a little chip meant for Rudd. And Goodridge took that ball out.
Ooh, did he need to do that? It's difficult to say.
Tell you what, Clement Poitrenaud would say he needed to do it.
Then that's going to go out. I think that's going out. It's a tough call, though.
It's come back for Gloucester and Gummersall.
Well, one has to say, yet again, the Gloucester line-out has nicked the ball from Northampton just when the home team most needed it. And their kick-in game and their ability in this set phase, the line-out, that's the difference. Slim difference, but that's what it is.
It's not just Beam Brown, Buxton too.
No, the whole strategy's been good, Miles.
Fox away from Bohr. That's what I meant about his power. Seeley. Drum, inviting. Ray Harner supported by Tucker, but it's back with Cohen. 1 point in it. Drum, there are men on this side. Pass was too risky. Will it be now there? Because Stabina's trying to join them. Rudd. Thompson was lurking. Never got to him. Drum. chips. Cohen's going. Garvey might be beaten here. Goodridge. This time he had to take it into touch. Now Tucker wants it quickly. Oh, and Garvey goes in. And Tucker doesn't like it. He's got every right not to. Because what Tucker wanted was the ball for a quick line-out, and the referee has another call to make here.
Well, it should be a penalty for Northampton because the ball hadn't touched anyone else. It could have been played immediately by Northampton. Gloucester stopped that. That is a penalty, 15 in. That should be the call.
Well, it's not going to be.
Well, Northampton had every right to be upset there. They're entitled to take that ball and play it. Gloucester stopped them. You're not allowed to do that.
Thompson to Law. One that Gloucester didn't really contest for a change. They decided to get low and drive. And it's worked. Initially, Northampton try and get it going again. Franklin's Guns trying to shout the team on to success. But Gloucester slowed it down.
They've done a good job when you consider late injuries to Powell, and Sigley had to switch sides. Wood doesn't have that much experience. They've been very gutsy, haven't they? Northampton collide with each other. That's the old truck and trailer almost, and they're just desperate. And they're losing their composure a bit. Now Gomersall important.
Gomersall. Now when the clock reaches 80 minutes, that is full time, and we'll go into the final play of the game. Of course, a little bit nervous about saying that in view of what happened in the first half when we left the field after 38.
Yeah, well, that's contentious. This area isn't. The turnover count against Northampton is big. 9 lost. Gloucester just 2. Gloucester protected the ball. They've been smarter. What the Saints have on their side is a big home crowd willing them on.
What Gloucester have on their side, line-out forwards who have given everything to the cause, and I think above all other players on the field deserve credit if Gloucester go on to win this match. And look at the chasing there with Jack Bohr and his team going with him. Ben Cohen pulled to the ground, not allowed to play it. Northampton going from deep. Shane Drom, this is exciting stuff, and Drom nearly got away there. Stabina comes out the side to Rudd. Drom again. In steps Henry Paul. Referee holding out an arm here.
Got a free play here, haven't they, so they can risk something.
And they need to risk inside the final 2 minutes. Drum again. Oh, good line from Stabina. Fanner Lewis trying to get there. Just throws the ball back, came off a Gloucester boot.
That was advantage over, quite right from Steve Lander there. Now Gloucester with Duncan McRae. I'm certain this ball will be going deep.
Fanner Lewis on the floor, he's hurt, and out of this, McRae. Garvey is chasing! Garvey is flying! Has he got the win? It's going to go to the video official. Garvey is sure that he's scored.
Well, so is
Dean Ryan. Gloucester are going berserk on the sidelines. They think that Garvey, his awareness and speed here, has snatched the win, or at least confirmed that win. Gloucester in front going into this play, and they have got a try.
That is a try. Ben Cohen fell asleep, and McRae's kick has been the final twist of the knife. Gloucester will win.
It is the way that Gloucester played the game all afternoon. McRae pumping the corners, switching it left and right and forcing Northampton back. And on that occasion, the ball stayed alive. And Garvey was very alive to what was on. And the Northampton supporters, it's too much for some as they leave the ground. They know their side is going to their first defeat of the season.
this to deprive
Well,
Northampton.
possibly. Look at the clock, Stuart.
And this will deprive Northampton of a bonus point at home.
Well, it stays out. And with half a minute left, Northampton need to get back up there quickly.
Well, that missed kick means they can still win it with a 7-pointer. I'm not going to change my man of the match no matter what now, though. I think the decisive figure in this game has been Duncan McRae. He sometimes plays with more flair and wit, but he had a role to do. He has played it to perfection. He's kicked beautifully, and then that key kick should be the one that wins Gloucester the game. A really controlled performance from the Aussie. Duncan McRae, a worthy man of the match.
It should be. The call of 30 seconds to both sides. Down the middle from Drum, Gloucester have it, and Paul has it.
Well, McRae surely will just boot this out in his 22.
Gummerson will just run down the clock a little bit more. McRae puts the ball out. It's all eyes on the clock, and then all eyes on the referee. Steve Lander, who decides that Gloucester keep their unbeaten record going. They win for the third time this season, and this one has taken them onto a higher plane. What a performance. They played the game how they wanted to, and Duncan McRae creating the try at the end for Garvey to seal the win. Northampton beaten at Franklin's Gardens.
Frankly, they were blunted by the tactical excellence of Gloucester. Northampton, bar Rayhana, didn't have any ideas. Steve Thompson's line-out throwing, yes, well, will he shake his head? Didn't have a good day. Gloucester targeted the line-out, they won it there. They were good at the breakdown, and McRae and Gomersall, I thought, controlled it well. It was simple, it was effective, and the Shedheads are travelling back to Gloucester delighted. 3 out of 3 for Gloucester.
The Gloucester supporters passionate for their team, and they saw plenty of passion from their team today. They gave the maximum, and they take the points. Andy Gomersall is with Will.
Thanks, Miles. It may be early in the season, but how huge a match is that, Andy?
Big game, big game. We watched their first 2 games, and we knew we had to up the ante. They were fantastic for the first 2, and we just knew we'd have to come out here and have big, strong defence, which we did do. I thought the guys worked tirelessly, and I thought our middle 3, Duncan, Henry and Terry, had fantastic games.
Was that the crucial aspect?
It was. We knew that we could keep the ball out wide. We knew we'd have them stretched in the midfield, and the first try was just fantastic. I mean, we do that on the training paddock, and when it works, you know, you just it brings a smile to the face.
How difficult is it to come up here and take the W?
It's very difficult. Takes a lot of guts. I think that's the first thing. A lot of